So right now, so I'm a bone marrow transplant nurse on their adult BMT floor. And so basically, I just take care of patients who come in for their transplants due to various forms of cancer. Um, and so right now, especially with all of this, it's kind of tough because all of our patients are immunosuppressed, so they have no immune system. So it's been really tough on them. We have a lot of visitor restrictions. They're not allowed any sort of visitors, um, and especially a lot of our patients are with us for a month at a time, and so it's pretty difficult on them right now. But they're very strong and extremely positive for their situation. So
Yeah, I mean that's the demographic that you read about. It's right, the immunosuppressed and the elder generation that are right in the thick of things in terms of getting impacted on a more harsh degree by this disease, this virus. So how, I guess, do you stay positive on a day-to-day basis? Because I'm sure you're part of the positivity that's being brought into their lives.
yeah, so I would say there's a lot of days where I come home just kind of exhausted, just like not necessarily physically, but more just like tired, and it's hard to watch my patients like go through what they're going through because they're like they're scared. They're very scared, especially because they're not allowed to have any sort of family, any sort of support like that. They're worried about their family outside of the hospital. And then on top of it all, they're not like their body isn't able to fight any sort of disease, let alone this one, by itself. So it's kind of tough watching them. I would say probably my positivity comes from watching them stay positive and knowing that even though we're going through this right now, it's going to get better eventually. And by being positive, I think mindset has a huge benefit to illness, and especially for them, staying positive is really the only option right now for a lot of them. So we do everything we can on the unit to keep them moving, keep them occupied. We play lots of games with them right now. Obviously, we're still taking care of them, and we're just letting them know that like we're there for them. And I think our unit has a great way of standing together and just really helping our patients get through what they need to get through right now.
If I remember correctly from the video you made too, you were basically asking for supplies and masks. I think you said before this pandemic, you would go into a patient's room and with a mask and immediately discard the mask upon leaving. And now there's not really enough supplies for that. So I guess did that video kind of work in a sense, Emma, in getting new masks? Are people still donating to the hospital? Where is I guess your unit right now since you originally gave us an update towards the beginning of this pandemic?
So yeah, so actually after I made that video and sent it out, our unit specifically had over hundreds of masks donated. So that was incredible. And a lot of like our nurses' families and even patients' families have donated masks, because we not only have to wear them, but our patients have to wear them, whether they're walking the halls and just in our unit or anywhere they have to wear a mask. So we actually got a lot of support and donations from a lot of people. Um, Wherever people could find hand sanitizer, they managed to send those to us. So we've had so much support, and it's really helped. Even though we're in a not so great time, I've seen one of the positive things I've seen from this is a lot of people banding together and coming together in a way to support the people who need it most. And I think that's really special.
Elder nurses on staff that were more susceptible to this virus, are they still working?
So yeah, so a lot of them actually are still working because even though we're not giving transplants right now, we're actually being floated we have what we call a short stay unit, and basically it's a couple rooms that we have to rule out patients with COVID before they're allowed on our unit. So they come, so we actually have to send two nurses for one patient. So we really haven't had room for people to not be able to work, if that makes sense. But like yesterday, we had an individual come on, and they were getting tested for COVID, and one of our elderly nurses on the floor, she was anticipating going into the room, but instead of that, we just switched her assignment, and other nurses stepped in where they needed to. So it's like one of those things where the best thing you can do is look out for each other. And so I think that with her situation, people saw that, and people were like, we're going to step in here and help where she's needed. And another thing is, like, we have a couple nurses on our floor that have pre-existing conditions. So we actually have a nurse on our floor with cystic fibrosis. And because of that, she did have to step away from her job for the time being. But we've had so many donations that she's still able to get paid and all that kind of stuff. So although it's tough to watch that, it's awesome to see people coming together. Like, we're encouraged to pick up shifts. We're encouraged to help where we can. But for the most part, I stay my normal 3 days a week, and then I'm off. But I'm always on call. So if they need somebody to come in, then I'm like one of the first people to go in, just because I'm of that demographic age where I'm able to help and not be put at risk. You know what I mean? But I'm anticipating, like, we've been trained on putting on all the protective gear and all that kind of stuff. And so if we do hit the peak like they're expecting, we're going to be expected to float to other units and take care of more people. So I expect my hours, if that does happen, I'm expecting my hours to increase significantly.
There he is. Caleb, what's up, man?
How are you?
Going on? I didn't expect to have a 1,000-point score on our Instagram story tonight.
So,
look at that guy,
There
huh?
he is.
he's a 1,000-point scorer right here.